There's been tons of TV studios here at Comic-Con this year, but we caught up with USA Network in our own Movies on Demand lounge at the Hard Rock Cafe to talk with their cast of Covert Affairs. So we're in the In Demand Lounge and we're with the cast of Covert Affairs from the USA Network. Now you guys are in your second season, about just a little bit over halfway. What's going on in Covert Affairs right now?
Well, the episode that just aired, we got a really good look at Chris Gorham's gorgeous body, which people can't stop talking about. So we're just going to start talking about it so we can get it out of the way.
And it revolves around the CIA. There's a lot of different acronyms you have to learn in order to kind of do one of these covert kind of organizations and things like that.
Yep.
You're titled the Director of Clandestine
Services. DCS. Well, I mean, for actors and people in show business, easy because we all live with those kind of, what are they called?
Anacronyms.
Anacronyms. You know, there's ICM and WME and CAA and this and that, so it's not a big leap.
Now you play.
It's a big leap for me. It's really, really hard to learn my lines. I have a lot, hours, days, because I'm always doing, you know, CIA official speak, names of places, countries,
in different
people,
languages.
And just like, sometimes in different languages,
Mandarin,
And I have to talk like I actually know what I'm talking about. And I thought, I didn't go to law school, so I wouldn't have to learn these things. I became an actor because I wanted to express myself, and suddenly I have to like learn all this stuff. So it's good for the brain, but it is hard. It's hard.
Folks, don't get too weepy-eyed out there. It's not that tough.
It's hard.
Now,
Beats working in a coal
It's
mine.
very difficult.
Both of you guys are bosses on the show. Did you guys have bosses in your life that you kind of pulled from in order to kind of help create the characters? And how's it being he's your boss and you're a boss?
I just channel my mother.
So she's never actually considered me her boss.
I look
And
at
she's
Peter
right.
and I think,
And we're married in the show. So we work together, and so it's a very interesting dynamic. And
Yeah.
people seem to respond to that. Just the notion of a married couple working together. It's hard enough to be married. It's twice as hard to be working together. And then when you're working in the CIA together, where, you know, countries can be destabilized, lives can be lost, it sort of adds a little extra dollop of something.
It's difficult enough to know how to communicate as a couple, but when you're working in an organization that a lot of things aren't talked about,
Yeah.
a lot of things can't be discussed, how do you negotiate a relationship in that? Plus, then the dynamic of having a boss as a husband.
So your character is Augie, and you're blind on the show. How is it kind of playing into that role?
You know, it's really challenging, but incredibly rewarding and a lot of fun. I was working very closely with the Canadian National Institute for the Blind. It's an organization in Toronto where we shoot the show, to really get that portrayal right, because it's such a specific physicality.
Yeah, you did an incredible amount of research.
Yeah. So, but it's fun. It allows a really different kind of creativity and brings something different to the show, and really represents, you know, a population of people that don't often get represented on television, especially as a leading man in a TV show. So I'm really proud of it.
Wow. And how about for your character? Was there any kind of special homework you feel like you had to do for Danielle?
Well, my character is a stay-at-home mom. Well, she starts a catering company.
Yeah.
But I don't get to do any of the fun kind of explosions.
And by the way,
or
never bake us
stunts or-
any like cookies or muffins. I mean, what's going on?
I know Kari was talking about all the complicated languages and lingo she has. I don't do any. I talk about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
But then you
So
bring
my
the real
research, I
Danielle
actually am,
feel.
I know, but I am a mom. I have a 2.5-year-old son, so my research is like playing with him at home and telling him to be quiet and making him a sandwich.
Now, but
no,
it's still Covert Affairs though, and everybody has secrets, so I'm sure you have your own secrets and stuff like that to the show as well.
That's a good point. Yeah, I think Danielle does have some
She
secrets.
may, but Danielle's so important to the show because she's that rock for Annie. Like, you know, she's really the foundation. She's the one that Annie can always turn to. And it's a big arc for the end of this season because Danielle's finally catching on to that something's up, you know, that something's going on. Her sister's not really being completely truthful with her, and she doesn't know why. And so for the last few episodes of the summer season, Annie is trying to decide whether or not she should tell her sister the truth.
And Danielle, I mean, she knows Annie very well, so she's been very suspicious, and it's been very fun to sort of see those little glimmers of something's not right with Annie. Why is she coming home with a bruise covering half her face? So that's been a lot of fun.
Seems like you guys get along really, really well and stuff like that. I'm sure it's a lot of fun on the set. Does ever kind of all the secrets and lies kind of spread then into set and you start looking at each other sideways and things like that, or?
Well, we're typically very suspicious people.
Very. I don't trust anyone anymore for this show.
No way. You can't. If it's one
You can't
thing
have
we
a
learned, you
friendship.
can't trust
No,
anyone.
exactly. The show teaches you that very clearly.
Now, your character, main character for the show, brought in from the farm. Now, for people that don't know, the farm, what exactly is that?
The farm is the training facility for the CIA, although they don't acknowledge that it exists. But it does. And yeah, you go right from the farm into Langley, so it's a really steep learning curve when you first hit the CIA.
So you're basically a newbie. Why are they bringing you and throwing you into the thick of things?
Well, I didn't know at the beginning, although Sendel's character did. They're actually trying to flush out another agent.
I'm trying to get to a CIA agent that has gone rogue, basically, and there's a relationship between Annie and Ben Mercer is the character's name, and that's how my character came in, was to try and bring him in.
So now, what's the relationship between you guys in terms of like trying to flesh out that character? Is there a little animosity there?
Interesting question.
It's kind of
Piper.
It's kind of both animosity because I don't trust him, but there's also attraction there. So we're constantly. It's a kind of love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
love though than hate.
Now, for you guys working in a thing you're doing with the CIA, what was the learning curve and kind of learning all the terminology and everything else that you have to learn in order, I'm sure, gun training, all that kind of stuff?
Well, the CIA doesn't carry guns on American soil. They only carry guns abroad because they don't have a badge because it's a secret, right? But we had CIA officer as technical consultants on the show.
Wow.
That was for the pilot, and I came on in the second episode. So I basically listened to these guys and what they had learned, because they had the, they had that they were lucky enough to be able to speak to proper CIA people and go through that for the pilot. And so I just kind of, whenever I had questions, I'd ask Piper or Chris or whoever, and they all knew the answers. So it was really easy for me. I didn't have to go anywhere. So.
Now, since the show's on cable, and you work for Heroes, which was on network, any kind of differences you kind of find for maybe able to do more on this show than you would on the network show?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, it's a shorter season. It's not as grueling as shooting 25 episodes like we did on Heroes, or 24 or whatever. So that just gets, that's a grind, and it can affect quality sometimes. Whereas here, it's a much more manageable number of episodes that you're doing. It's a smaller cast, so that makes it easier too when you're not juggling 12 people. But in the end, it's a good story, and I think you get that on network or on cable. That it didn't matter to me. I just wanted like a really good story with very cool people. Like, I've been really lucky to work with the cast that I have, and I somehow stumbled upon a cast that is amazing, just as much as Heroes. Oh yeah, breaking news. Oh, I don't know if we can.
Can we say?
Yeah, the deal's
don't
done.
say who.
Okay.
Just say that it's happening.
We're having a Heroes reunion in the next episode. You heard it here first. I totally forgot about that.
I know. I just remembered
done,
that.
Piper.
Wow. Kind of like what they did on Psych on the USA with Twin Peaks.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a much beloved Heroes character that is the guest lead in the next episode that we're shooting. And he's one of
A hero's actor, not a hero, not one of the characters.
No, not one of the characters. No, he is playing his character. It's a he, so I gave that away. But no, it's I'm really looking forward to it. He's one of my closest friends.
So we're gonna have to watch Covert Affairs on USA to find out.
Well, you just have to watch it in general. But yeah, watch that episode too. Yeah.
So check out brand new episodes of Covert Affairs Tuesday nights on USA, and check out all the other great USA shows on Entertainment On Demand. Here at San Diego Comic-Con for Time Warner Cable, I'm Noah Park.